I spent the last 3 months with the Apple FineWoven case and the Apple Silicone case for my 15 Pro iPhones. And now that all of the outrage has kind of died down about the FineWoven, I figured now was a good time to talk about them. So I want to go over the design, the material, the feel, the buttons, and just my general thoughts about these two cases. So let's just jump right in. On the right-hand side, we have the FineWoven case in Pacific Blue for my iPhone 15 Pro Max. And on the left side, we have the Guava silicone case for my iPhone 15 Pro. These cases are built very similarly. On the inside, you get this thin plastic shell, and then it's wrapped with whatever material on the outside. And the silicone material that Apple is using is the same material they've been using for years. If you've ever touched it or felt it before, it's the exact same. The FineWoven case, however, is all new. On the back is this fine woven material or micro twill that basically gives it a soft, almost suede or fuzzy type feeling, and it actually feels pretty soft. And if you look at it with the macro lens on the iPhone 15 Pro, you can actually see the fibers weaving in and out. Now on the side, I believe it's actually the exact same material, just covered with some other thing on top. And then of course, when it comes to the buttons, the button on the silicone case is this squishy silicone button, and the buttons on the FineWoven case are metal like they were in previous years with the iPhone leather cases. So let's go ahead and put phones in these cases and take a look at them. Now iPhones just kind of snap into both of these cases and they stay relatively snug inside. Like there's no concern about iPhone coming out or anything like that. They feel very secure in both of these cases. I don't have any issue with that. The lip on the back for camera bump protection is pretty small. I mean, it's very minimal, but it does the job of protecting the camera when you lay the phone down on a flat surface. As I recall, there was a little bit of controversy when these were released with the ports and cutouts not aligning correctly on iPhones of any of the cases this year for some reason. So as you can see here, I want to point out that all of my cutouts seem to be spaced correctly. I don't see too much issue with the cutouts around the USB-C ports. I think the drill out holes for the silicone are lined up with the microphone and speaker holes just fine. But I do want to test a couple of cables so I can show you real quick. So first off, I have a Thunderbolt 4 cable, and this one does connect to either device just fine. It goes right through the hole. It's the correct size. I do have an Apple USB-C cable, which does the same, so no issues with that. And I have a U-Green USB-C cable as well, and no issue with that. So far all of the cables that I have worked just fine with both of these cases. I'm going to talk more specifically about the feel of these cases in a second, but there's one thing I do want to point out, and it is about the buttons. Now, like I said, the silicone case has these kind of like spongy silicone buttons, and that's fine, I guess. It's not my favorite feeling of buttons, but they work. The metal buttons on the FineWoven case are definitely more tactile, which I do like. When you click it, there's a click, like listen. Yeah, did you hear that? That sounds pretty good. However, they also make noise when you're not pushing them. Yep, this is the first Apple case I'm aware of where the buttons just kind of flop around, which is not cool because you can actually hear them when you shake the phone. If you shake the phone, you can hear the buttons rattling around. If I rub my finger on these, you can hear it. Look, so I'm just gonna rub my finger over these buttons and you'll hear it. This is not something I've seen with Apple's previous leather cases. So here's the leather case from my iPhone 14 Pro, and it's got metal buttons, and when I shake it, nope, no noise. And when I rub my finger on it by the microphone, nope, the buttons do not move at all. So I definitely don't like that the buttons on here move around and make noise. It's kind of annoying. As far as the general feel of these two devices, they are on different ends of a spectrum. The silicone case definitely is more grippy. It's rubbery. It's got that texture that some people just do not like. And when you slide it in and out of your pocket, it has a little bit of friction. It can pull the pocket lining out with it. You can get lint built up around the sides. It happens, but you can easily wipe that stuff away usually. I actually like the grip of the silicone cases because the iPhone feels more secure in my hand. It doesn't feel like it's gonna slide out or flip out, or when I set it on a desk or a table or lean it against something like this to kind of read a recipe or watch a podcast or something like that, then I have no worries that it's going to slide and fall down. With FineWoven case, it's just not as grippy. It definitely has a smoother texture on the back and on the sides, which makes it feel less secure in my hand. And when I place it up against objects, it is more inclined to kind of slide out and fall down if I have it at a weird angle. And I like that soft touch feel on the back. I think it feels nice. It just doesn't have the grip that I prefer. And the sides are even more slippery than the back. This is not the most slippery case I've ever used, and it would be fine, but I do like a little bit more grip to my cases. Even the Apple leather cases had a little bit more grip than you get with the FineWoven. Now, when it comes to durability, I know there was a lot of concerns about durability of the FineWoven case in the first couple weeks when it came out. As you can see, this case over the last 3 months has held up okay. It's not perfect. You can see lines on here from my fingernail or just setting it on a desk or picking it up. Something is leaving some kind of little marks in this microfiber material. I haven't dropped the iPhone in this case yet, so on the outside it still looks pretty good. No dings or dents or scratches on the edge, just a little bit of stuff on the back. And I know you've seen the pictures and the videos of these things looking like crap in the Apple Store, but in the 3 months I've had it, I haven't been a jerk to the case and it's been fine. And it's doing its job protecting the iPhone. Now, it will change its appearance over time depending on how you treat it. So just like how the leather cases would change or patina over time, the FineWoven case is going to change as well, whether you like it or not, I guess. The Apple silicone case is the silicone case. They are usually pretty durable up until the point that they are not. They usually last me around 6 or 10 months or something like that, and then the edges start kind of peeling back. As you can see here, this is from my iPhone 14 Pro, and it's actually still in pretty good condition. There's a little wear here from gripping it and from the MagSafe connections, and I can't see any damage on the case from dropping it. I know I dropped it in this case, but it still looks okay. Now, this iPhone 13 Pro case is a different story. My wife was using this and dropped it quite a few times. There's a big crack right here. There's big chunks of silicone missing on the bottom. And this is what's going to happen over time. You will start to wear away, especially on a corner somewhere. And both of these cases will actually show dust quite a bit. On the silicone case, it's going to build up around the edges and around the camera bump when you're putting it in and out of your pocket. And on the FineWoven case, you're going to see dust and lint and skin flakes and whatever else just get caught inside that FineWoven material, which usually can just be wiped away. Now, I am somebody who has dry skin, so I do use a lot of lotion, and so far I'm not seeing any embedding or staining of the back of the microfiber or FineWoven case. Now, when it comes to the price of these two devices, the FineWoven replaces the leather, and that is $60, and the silicone cases are $50. And yes, that's a lot of money to spend on a case to protect your iPhone, and there are so many other cheaper options that you can find online. And maybe one of those cases is going to be better for you. However, if I'm just looking at these two cases right here, I definitely prefer the Apple silicone case overall. I wish that I could have metal buttons on the Apple silicone case because I do love that tactile feel of those metal buttons. But other than that, I prefer the grippiness of the Apple silicone case compared to the slightly more slippery FineWoven. Apple actually does a really good job at designing a case that looks good, it fits well, it adds minimal bulk, and it actually offers a pretty good amount of protection. And so for that, I think these cases are probably worth the price. But I understand you may not think so. So let me know below what you guys think about this new FineWoven case and whether you prefer the FineWoven or the silicone. Maybe I should run a poll on that because I'm actually curious which one you guys prefer. But hey, if you want to see my 1-month video on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, you should definitely check out this video right over here. Hit the thumbs up button if you liked it, hit subscribe if you want, and I'll see you next time.